I think it's as important what not to eat as what to eat. So I tell them, well, at least for me, I say this is what I think is the best. This is what I do. So no plants or mushrooms, right? Nothing, no sugar or any sweeteners, and nothing artificial. And that will go for sauces, seasonings, and drinks as well. If people want to use a bit of seasonings and spices, then that helps them get their head around it. Like, oh, I don't know if I could just do that. Fine. Don't throw away the good for the perfect, right? I mean, just getting rid of almost everything besides some pepper on your meat is whatever. You're still making massive improvements. For my patients in the clinic, it's actually a bit easier to make that case that they should be doing this because I'm looking at their bloods, because they're coming in, they're telling me their health issues, and we're going through them in fine detail about what's going on, what's affecting them, what their goals and hopes are, with this treatment process. That they're saying like, hey, I have these issues, I have these problems, and I'm on these medications, but they're just taking care of the symptoms. They're not taking care of the disease itself. They're just getting worse. And is there anything we can do for that? And sometimes the answer is yes. A lot of times the answer is yes, actually. And then we look at their blood work. And I mean, I can tell you, I can show you all the issues with your metabolism. I can show you all the problems. I can show you your fasting insulin. I can show you your fasting leptin, which is another hormone. People's testosterone is in the tank, or women are going through premature menopause and their thyroid dysfunction. A woman has PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. They may have autoimmune issues. And I can trace all those things back to diet. And I can show them like, if you change your diet in this way, you will get this result, and you will see these changes on your blood work the next time we do it. And you'll see these changes in your health. Your Hashimoto's antibodies will come right down, and we'll be able to track that with blood work. Your symptoms will improve. Your Crohn's disease will go away. Your rheumatoid arthritis will largely disappear. Multiple sclerosis. I have patients with multiple sclerosis who were wheelchair bound because they had such multiple sclerosis, for those who don't know, is an autoimmune disease that attacks the nerves, and they attack the myelination around the nerves, and that causes dysfunction of the nerve fibers. And you get this, it's basically you have a computer with wires that go off somewhere, and you're just basically cutting that wire, right? And so I've had patients that were wheelchair bound, and they went on to a strict red meat and water diet. And there's reasons for that, why the ruminant meats like cow and lamb, goat, venison, those are the best, because they ferment the plants that they eat first, and then they digest, as opposed to pigs, chicken, fish, which are monogastrics like we are, that absorb first and break down and detoxify second with their liver. And so if they're eating things that they're not designed to eat either, which farmed animals are, they're fed a bunch of corn and soy and garbage like that, and wheat, that they're not able to detoxify these things out as well as like a cow, even when they're being fed something they're not supposed to, because they ferment the stuff first before they absorb it. They're actually better able at filtering out this garbage, so it doesn't get into the meat, so it doesn't get into you. And so people, as far as I can tell, autoimmunity is your body reacting to plant toxins or other sorts of noxious chemicals getting into your body, and your body making antibodies towards them, and you're getting hit in the crossfire. They think that, oh, there's a sensitizing reaction, and then your body starts attacking yourself, and you sensitize to your thyroid or something else. But that doesn't actually fit the observed phenomenon, because when people stop eating plants entirely, we can measure it. The antibodies just go down. And we see there's actually clinical trials showing that people with Crohn's disease, when they go on what's called an elemental diet, which is a very processed food diet, it's but it's just macros and micros. It's like a shake, and it's generally ketogenic because it was originally designed for kids with epilepsy. And we have 100 years of data on high animal fat, meat-based ketogenic diets being the only treatment for epilepsy for decades, until we started getting pharmacology for it. And then we just went, oh yeah, it's fine, just give them a pill. Very lazy stuff. But the diet works absolutely amazingly well. We have 100 years of evidence for that. And so they have these things, and centers will still use that, like Johns Hopkins, at least last time I checked, that was years ago, but they still use ketogenic diets to treat their epilepsy patients. And sometimes you'll see that at the Children's Hospital as well. They'll sometimes incorporate that if they're like refractory, there's just no hope left. They're, okay, well, you can try this. Why don't you try that first? You say, hey, change your diet. Your kid won't have seizures, or may not have seizures. If they do, then we can add medication. Why wouldn't you start with that? But anyway, so you have this elemental diet, and they give these people with Crohn's disease. Crohn's disease is an inflammatory bowel disease, and that causes bloody diarrhea and upset stomach, and it's very painful. It's a very hard disease to live with, and you give them this elemental diet, and they found in randomized control trials that in humans that just putting them on an elemental diet, just the macros and micros they need and nothing else, that was a better treatment for an acute flare-up of Crohn's than prednisone, steroids, right? So just not eating certain things was a better treatment than steroids, which is the gold standard. And there was another study with Crohn's again, where they looked at eliminating out carbs and fiber. And they found that when you eliminated carbs and fiber from the diet, that people could stay in remission up to 51 months, which is over 4 years. And they contrasted that with a control group that didn't take out carbs and fiber. And they stayed in remission on average 0 months, right? So it was a massive contrast. And this was all without medication, right? So 51 months in remission without medication, right? Just by eliminating carbs and fiber. And so that means that the carbs or the fiber, or maybe both, or something that comes along with one or both, is what is causing Crohn's, right? Your body's reacting to it. So your body's reacting to this. You're making antibodies. And then when you eliminate these things out, and I see this in practice all the time, like Hashimoto's, is very easy to test their antibodies, and you just see, just come right down, right? So you can measure this, and you certainly measure it in people's symptomatology. They just go away. So if the body was already sensitized and it said, okay, well, we're going to attack it, we're just going to kill this thyroid, come what may, you wouldn't see that. You wouldn't see those antibodies just coming right down. And then all of a sudden they go, I had a patient that, went on a trip and says, I'll just eat whatever, with my wife and we'll enjoy ourselves. Bam, the antibodies shot up. And then they slowly come down again, So this is something that you can measure. This is a cause and effect relationship. You remove something and the effect goes away. You bring that something back and the effect comes back, right? That's cause and effect. Right. Hey guys, just want to take a second to thank our sponsor, Carnivore Bar. I don't promote many products because honestly, all you need to be healthy is to just eat meat. For those times that you're out hiking, road tripping, or stuck at work and you want a nutritious snack that is just meat, fat, and salt if you want it, the Carnivore Bar is a great option. So I like this product not because it's just pure meat, but also because I want the carnivore market to thrive as well. And the more we support meat-only products, the more meat-only products there will be available in the mainstream. So if this sounds like something you'd like to get behind, check it out using my discount code Anthony to get 10% off, which also applies to subscriptions, giving you 25% off total. All right. Thanks, guys. So, we're seeing that. And so I can tell people that and say, look, this is what you're going to see. This is what's going to happen. And this is what we'll see on your blood work. And this is what you'll see in your symptoms. And they see that. And then we come back and we see on their blood work exactly those things happen. And, sometimes there's maybe a bit of a discrepancy on something. We use stress, different exercise levels, sleep, family issues. These can all play a role as well. But by and large, you'll see exactly those changes, right? And maybe a little blip here and there. Okay, well, this could be from stress. Yeah, things have been really tough with work and blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, that makes sense. We'll keep an eye on that. We need to fix that in these other ways. But all these other things are all getting better. So everything's all getting better. That's, might be due to, severe stress, things like that. So, you look at those things, but by and large, that's just what happens. You see these things improve dramatically. And you just say, these are wrong because of your eating these things. And then you take those things away, you should see these results. And that's exactly what they see. And people's testosterone, like I've seen exactly one man whose testosterone didn't jump up after going on a carnivore diet for a few months. Everything else improved.
What happened to this dude?
Well, everything else was improving dramatically.
But just his testosterone didn't
just stayed the same.
Yeah.
It wasn't like bottomed out or anything like that. It was probably it's pretty normal for his age. But he had a lot of stress. Even though he dealt very well with stress, it doesn't mean that the stress wasn't there.
Yeah.
As we had a lot of stress at home and at work. And so he just didn't see this change too much. Fine. We'll keep an eye on that. He's doing better in every other way. And we try to address the stress and try to keep getting him, in a better and better situation, I would expect that to come up. Everybody else comes up. I had a 72-year-old man who tripled his testosterone level, right? He came back to the state of a healthy 25-year-old man.
That's so good.
I used to drink 2 gallons of water a day in my playing days. And that's how I felt the best on carnivore. And I don't use salt. You
don't add any salt at all?
No, not anymore. I would always salt to taste. I just tell people salt to taste. Let your body, do the talking, right? So, and your body's saying, "Ooh, I want that chicken stock with water, with salt." Fine.